going to tell you about deep. It is the digital education economy program. This program is for you if you are 18 to 58 years old. Believe me, the internet is a place that will ensure that you make money while you're sleeping. You just have to learn to do it. If you don't believe me, check it on Thursday, context matters, and make money doing what I'm doing right now. And your TikTok is on, and you make your monetize TikTok. But I don't want you to be afraid of technology, which is why when I came before my Eastern, I started and completed 250 tablets to your children. I want to make sure that you guys are listening to me. What we say the program is? Deep. What? Deep. Deep. So what about deep now? All we need is 12 weeks of your time. What a teacher, what a change each other's life. You don't have to see 12 weeks. And in those 12 weeks, you will learn to use TikTok, you will learn to monetize YouTube, you will learn cryptocurrencies, you will learn how to make money on the internet. You can stay Mansion, you can stay Fairview, you can stay Prospect, Port Antonio, Fellowship, right here and interface in the entire world from Dubai to London, Canada, to places where you make 2 months, 3 years or more. Yes? So, this program, at the end of it, when you learn to use the technology and learn the system, what you will be able to do is walk away with a grant. And I know some people are standing behind me. It only takes $10 million to start up for the person who completes, and from there, I promise you, your life will change. So I don't want nobody to feel like we don't have ideas. Because the ideas that we are bringing is going to change our lives and end poverty. We don't want to come into a situation of begging for flying and begging. We want to be able to have financial independence and feel like
Yes, our first school. Isaac, this is the man. See the man here? No.
Woke up this morning and head to free school. The Maroons showed up and we were able to start the proceedings with the blowing of their bang.
God, I call upon you this moment, dear Jesus Christ, Almighty God. Cover us, dear God. Cover us, dear God.
Thereafter, the drums. The young people of Portland and their marching band was able to provide the live music and instrumentation.
March, we are march, 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 we are march.
Portland hot. We are bringing the heat in East Portland.
He has brought a new energy, a new spirit, a new vision.
It was a message sent to the laborites that time has come.
One Isaac, straight.
Right now we are at a crescendo, ready to take Portland from the hands of these wicked and uncaring family. A family that just think about themselves and never think about the people of Portland.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. You have been duly nominated.
The heat turn up. We're hot and ready to take back East Portland.
Best way to make a statement is to put your ex beside.
Keep me straight, no time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right.
Matters with Isaac Buchanan. If you join on me on Reggae Global Radio, I want to say what's up, and thank you for watching. If you are on TikTok, tap up the screen and share the like. Boy, and jump over here fast enough. You want to see the haters, but haters are fans. You know what it is. So happy that you could join us. Some of you are indicating that you want to take a shower. I hope that you have water, because I hear that there's a water short in Jamaica and it's a crisis. But at least what you should make haste to do is try to ensure that you at least take a bath if you can't take a shower. Bird baths work, all right? Cleanliness is godliness. Now, for my peoples on YouTube, big up yourself, because you are hearing your numbers. My respects to you. We are talking about a topic today that's dear to me. It's formality versus process. Should we have a working definition? I think formality is actually just what it says, that there is certain things when it comes to procedures that you must do in order for it to take place. So when somebody says it is just going through the formalities, Isaac cannot be member of parliament without the election. So the general election is coming up, and for me, it's a mere formality. September 3rd simply has to come, and after September 3rd come, my voters, which are voters of the People's National Party, will come out in their numbers, and at the end of it, a mere formality will take place, and I will be the next member of parliament for Portland Eastern. It is ironic because as I speak, there are persons that are completely upset, and it's reminiscent of a particular case that I did where everybody said that I couldn't win, and then when I win. So I, having understood and look at the science of the politics, I know that at the end of the night, September 3rd, I'm the next member of parliament for Portland Eastern. I can put it in any context for those of you who can't understand. So because of that, here's some of the things that people, or some of the problems that people face when it comes to this. When people know the law, they argue the law. When they can't win on law, they distort the facts and argue the facts. When none of it is on their side, they go to what is called ad hominem attacks. I found it hilarious. I have seen, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, whether it be Instagram, just social media, and the irony. And I'm processing because I saw a publication where I guess it's the Jamaica Labour Party writing to say that bloggers are putting out misinformation and it's affecting them. Well, here's what I'm going to say to you. The truth, there is universal truth, and then there are some people that's affected by the truth. And then there are lies, and some people who are affected by lies. If people wonder, somebody asking me if I'm in Jamaica, or whatever, or as long as I'm in Jamaica. For though there are people who are in Jamaica, it's a different place. You know, election coming up, and the Jamaicans want you to choose Jamaica over the reality. So I'm in the island of Jamaica, yes, Portland to be exact. But what I was simply saying is, the truth is the truth, and it's not an offense. It can be offensive, but it's not an offense. Let's that's one. The next thing is a lie is a lie, and it cannot be the truth. It can distort the truth, but the truth always have its way of coming out. What people cannot do is make false analogies and make comparisons and stuff like that. For instance, as a human rights attorney, you defend the rights of all persons. And because I don't discriminate, that is a place, is difficult to get to a superior place where you do not discriminate because you understand human rights and humanity. It also comes, the truth swims like oil. Or if you are a Starbucks person,
cream always rises to the top. You understand? So you can't fall victim to all of that. So the irony is to see an entire political party having their minions put out press release about and naming persons. They name in Jamaica, they had named Right Mango, Andre Stevens, and Dre Bryan as bloggers who are affecting them. The words of those bloggers that they can't sue because you can't sue people for telling the truth. Or you cannot sue people who have big bad lawyers like me. Or you can't sue men of straw. So the predicament I'm oftentimes in is when I go on the internet, and sometimes they come on my page and they try to get attention. And people who want attention, they raise alarms and they ring bells. So usually the persons who are, not of a certain ilk will try to get attention because they can't have a platform and influence, and so they want to be seen, so they raise alarm. So what people oftentimes do is to find men of straw who are living for nothing, who have zero influence, and who you would waste your time and energy to respond, attack, and justify to people who are insignificant. This is just a truth that can be hurtful. So some random person whom I don't know, who comes on my TikTok, YouTube, Reggae Global Radio, and they say something that is not true, or they say something that is inappropriate or disgusting, in the hopes that I will respond. And the reality is, when I wake up tomorrow, life is good. Like a life anchored by God, and the process and the progress and the substance of living for a purpose cannot be shaken or deterred by insignificance. So this is a very strange phenomenon. So when it comes down to an entire political process, a government that hates freedom of expression, hates free speech, hates persons which have the right to belief and conscience and expression of political ideas, how would write a press release to say that something is wrong, or something is affecting them because it is lies? When you own the media, when you have media practitioners who you have incestuous relationships with, so that they become emotional and they offer people box and they invite and incite the people to hate who they want to hate, and they selectively reject rehabilitation in relation to me, and are upset and angry that I would have gone through a process, an educational process, a rite of passage, and a journey that had caused me to be an attorney, a feat that they cannot achieve, not because they don't have friends and influence, but because they don't have the mental aptitude to take on the legal realm. Yeah? And they think that because of all of that, offer me a box, you goodly get one back. Yeah? So if media feel that way, you understand? But no, you don't sue people that you don't sue people that them get a lawsuit before, and ever since them have to be wrapped up in the political process so that they don't have to pay taxes and they get benefits, and they become a communications arm to disseminate thoughts and ideas that oftentimes is not true. And so somebody says, but what language could you speak to people to
to get them to understand. Well, let me share something with you before I get to process, because we're still at formality. I woke up this morning and on the front page of the Jamaica Observer, this is a newspaper that is affiliated in an incestuous way with members of parliament and ministers of government. That is, I can name the person, Matthew Samuda, his wife or spouse is an editor or has substantial affiliation with the news outlet. Now, if anybody knows the history of social media and why alternative media, somebody said, "Uno no block me." We're not blocking anybody today. We're allowing anybody to just have freedom of expression to talk any nonsense. Half of the time, we're not even reading or looking what you're saying anyway. Yeah. And so the influence is real. You know how I feel about local media. Just a year ago, when local media was used to paint a narrative that a seminal case, the most historical case in Jamaica, was one that could not have been won, and many attempts to prevent the course of justice, including suspensions and attempts to disbar and all kind of stuff. And how the media, the 9-day wonders, work on article after article after article after article. And here we are today. The end result, trusting the process, was that you can't stop greatness. So you must know my surprise when I wake up on the front page of the Jamaica Observer. It says lessons learned from the Vibes Cartel case. And a reading of that article says that it was just because of a failed justice system and the ingenuity of attorneys that caused the conviction to be overturned. And the conclusion in the article is that the men in that case, the Vibes Cartel case, were guilty, and left the crowd to say that the defendants had beat the man to death or the lizard to death, and therefore, notwithstanding a verdict, a judgment that would have quashed the conviction and no retrial ordered, that there was some guilt and the men got away. An emotional response from the position of a failing justice system and loopholes. What I will say, no, I'm not Joy Westcaster. I'm not graying fast. I'm just not using the dye. If you wear Adidas and you see the price of Adidas, it's pointless to put in the just some men and walk up and down in the sun. There's no winter in Jamaica, and I'm campaigning. So it's let's not fool ourselves here. I'm 47, and notwithstanding that I'm not taking Viagra, and notwithstanding that my face nice and these things, a part of life is that gray hair is a reality. I embrace it. It's not just on my face. Think anywhere that there is hair, I have it there. And I just decide that I'm not going to dye it anymore. It's much cheaper. Plus, I've learned that gray hair is a sign of wisdom, and I have a lot of that. Plus, you know, they used to call me an ugly you, but you see, I'm a sexy you. You understand? Girls all over the world want to up me. It's the life of a city boy in the country. Anyway, so for just in case, if that is a thing, somebody said by for the visual. Walking in divine purpose. When Moses went up to Mount Sinai and then came down, Graham, woman did still love him. So let's leave it. And the irony of it, you know, is I am running against two old people. I just decide that Botox is not for me, Viagra is not for me. I don't need that because I'm young, as opposed to people who they have to cut off all the hair because not even a shave can help them, because wrinkles and old age and all of that. There's a discrimination that come from it. So it's just ironic how people are hold me up and I run against two old crypt keepers.
Somebody said, Joy Wisconsin says, what is Viagra? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Viagra is what men use when they are impotent. Anyway, yeah, so for me, it's just you get a Peloton bicycle, you ride, you walk up and down, and you treat your body right as best as you can. And aging gracefully means that you put the right things in your body. Don't sniff cocaine, don't drink alcohol, don't smoke cigarettes, and if you're gonna smoke weed, do it sparingly. Don't be a dunce, don't be a retard. Heights of great men reach and kept. Their companions slept, they weren't sleeping, stuff like that. Just don't, then you won't need Botox and you won't need to be fake. You just have to stay hydrated, read your Bible, pray every day, and consume information. So positive in, positive out. Simple like that, right? So somebody said, don't talk louder. I'm just saying generally. And I mean, we must not shy away from age and stuff like that. So there's a natural mystic blowing, and that's me. Yeah. Real here, not fake, none of that stuff. Yeah. But anyway, so I hope you get that. Now, the aspect that I was telling you about is embracing the truth, not being affected by insignificance, not allowing the majority to try to speak down and minimize your greatness. Remember, I checked the internet. I recall because I saw a video where I think it was Tom Tavares. He went before the government and parliament and all of that was before the governor general said parliament done. Them are no longer the government. Everybody's zero out and dead heat, and the next government waiting to come into play after September 3rd. And he was saying that Mark Golan said he's a top lawyer, and I said you can't be a top lawyer, go in a court and win the case and stuff. And I'm saying, you see how life is funny because they lose cases and I have to win them. It's a natural thing where they send your kids to prison, I take them out. Now I say that people are gonna vex, but it's the truth. Right? It's the truth. So when you're talking about top lawyer, I don't gotta let my friends tell me I'm a top Norris. I just do it. I just go to the Privy Council, do my thing, forward, back, and humble myself, do what I have to do. Man in jail for 50 years, me just free him, do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Treat everybody, no matter if if you could be a big artist when you lock up in jail like a rat, you have to come to me and I just free you. That's just how it is. People don't have to be vexed, and it's not a friend thing. I'm a professional. Yeah, I am the person that the people you worship and praise, they have to come to me to get their human rights intact. I'm the defender of the people you praise. It's simple like that. My record speaks for itself. You don't have to self-promote. You just have to do the work. Yeah? And doing the work must impact the lives of the people. I must be humble at all material times. Lawyer is a profession no different from a top chef. You would appreciate that you could be the toppest and biggest lawyer if you can't cook. You're dead for hungry. And when you do go buy it, if depending on who cook it, you have to pay the money. So I'm just leaving at that to say that we don't always have to go to a pissing match to say that I am this and I am that. Because remember, at the end of the day, the politics is local. So no matter how a boy, no matter how a grandfather, old, impotent human being feels, you're not the candidate. I checked. I know who I'm running against. I checked and I know who my opponent is. I'm just telling you that. And so no matter who comes into the fray, whether all your friends and all of that, at the end of the day, you know who your opponent is and the politics is local. So nobody don't have to, when somebody say, but what did you do? And you can't answer, it speaks for yourself. So rather than people saying, but I said you don't do nothing, I'm the candidate. Officially, it's official. Monday, I'm on the ballot. Yeah? I shouldn't say ballot, a ballot. Because if it was a ballot, I'd be singing right now. But as the opposition, I'm not in government. So what am I supposed to do is to show you that the person who is supposed to do something now do nothing. But everybody knows that already. So let's take it, let's keep it real. Let's talk about the local issue. Bread is now $1,000. Can you buy it? If no, why are you voting for government? The roads that they say they fix and the road is nice. Why are you coming to me and asking me to fix your road if the roads are fixed? You don't have water in your pipe and they're selling you water. Government is selling you water. Yeah, $1,000 for bread. I checked today. They're selling you water. Why are you asking me to buy you water when it's the government that's selling you water? And then whether them foot is size 13 or whether them nose is size 13, them Pinocchio, them nose broad and long all at the same time. Why are you asking the opposition to do something when they didn't do it? And why did they wait to try to do it now to say, here's my achievement, and we open all of these projects, give us the opportunity to fix it? And why, while people cursing me here in Portland and you're losing your land, my opponents are building houses that cost $1 million US in a jack sale. With whose money? I don't know. But why the interest and why the begging for 5 more years? And why you don't want nobody drive past your villa? Why you don't want the Negroes to drive past your villa? Is it that at night things float into your villa? Or is it that things that shouldn't be happening? Yeah? It's a tape. I sat in a rape. I don't think Gaza rapes either. But if Gaza do rape, you know, if you need a good lawyer, call me. That's what I'm here for. I'm a professional. But anyway, they actually, I think somebody said coronation bread that them all know. them all know the type of bread. But now I dwell upon the bread, you know, that's Ian Hale's basket business. But I'm just trying to put into the fray what are the formalities. Because if you don't have a house, and I'm saying it, you know, we're going into an election and all know people don't say it to me. The Jamaica Labour Party has built only 11 houses in Portland Eastern. Nobody has challenged me on that. And then people say they don't care because roads are being fixed. Roads that, may his soul rest in peace, Dr. Broomfield advocated for. Monies was to come into Portland, and he was murdered. People actually forget, but I see people say, oh, things him come, then bring violence. Well, I have entered Portland and no members of parliament was murdered because I entered a parish. Let's make that's a truth that people will not like. In this election, I'm going to win this election and they don't have to murder MP to make sure I win an election. Let's put it that way. No matter how people want to spin it, flip it, and reverse it. No councillor was poisoned for my ascension. No MP murdered brutally for my ascension. Let's make that clear. So God not sleep. And guess what? There no lawyer walk upon this earth can say or misinterpret anything I have said. One fact is, since I have entered Portland Eastern, I have improved the lives of the young in this country. When I introduced the deep, the same tablets, all 3,375 tablets, may I count them to the dollar, that I would have issued, their parents will be able to participate in the deep because their child has a tablet. Watch and say there's always method to the process and trusting the process. And so you have to equip people with the tools that they need to be able to fish. And yes, let's play on the word fish. I can address it. Those people who are fixated, including the trans people who are on here, that who are on social media, that are looking familiarity and likeness. Fish is in the Bible. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. When Jesus was feeding the 10,000 and the 5,000, a fish him did use. Yeah, somebody said bread of Portland cheap, but I don't know where you live. Haiti? Yeah. So anyway, and those who are fixated, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. Nobody now look you, nobody now want you. Just leave it there. So anything you need to do to get your little fix, find somewhere else to do it. Because you not get it from Isaac Buchanan. Far. The value of Isaac Buchanan is way out of your league, whoever you are and whatever. So all of the people who are fixated, calm down, yeah? We're moving on from that. And let's talk about process now. Have to get there. Some of them on the dying with laughter. Yeah, I'm placing something so people can understand. Because authenticity, you can't fake authenticity. No amount of Botox can make up for authentic and organic. Yeah, just understand that. And while people understand that, they said small minds talk about people and great minds invent or discuss ideas, whatever it is. I've never fallen outside of the category of the great minds, whether great minds think alike or whatever, but these things are important. Somebody wants help from the government to build a stone wall. It's a good thing that government changing, because the builders and the shakers, when they want to make a money, them just open a funeral home and then start kill people for put the people in a funeral home. When they want to make a money, them just lock up everybody and say, oh, we have to feed it and give the feeding to one of them friends. And when they want to make a money, them just buy a whole heap of old buses and roll it out and take the money, and people say, oh, that's okay, because at least I'm trying. Because let me tell you something, when you work hard for your money, the people them that love spend people money when they never work for are the people that don't have no money and don't work for money. They cannot appreciate the significance of a thief. When the people thief from you and give you less. There's a saying, I was talking to my mother just this week, and there is a proverb, it's a story that a master told his servant to build a house. And the servant, so dishonest, the master said, what about the door jambs and the lintel? How high you have it? And to cut costs, him said, we don't want the door them too high. Master short anyway. So although the servant was 6'7", him build the door jambs at about, you have 5'7", 5'8", the max. You can't even be 6 feet and walk under the door jam. And then the door, the width of the door, make it small too. And the tile them, him say, yo, just buy some cheap tile and put it down. Master now notice, man. And him get the money for buy the most expensive tile and the grout to be gold. And him say, no, just put cement in there. When I not buy grout. And when it was all said and done, the windows was supposed to be, there's a story, it's a story. Yeah, the windows was supposed to be French windows with hurricane shutters. And them say, yo, just put in the window louver them, man. No, go on. And when the master finished, the master says, oh, you completed, and hand him the key and said, this is for you. Gave him the very house that Jack built. And I can tell you, that in and of itself shows that, you see, when it's not you spending your money and you don't think it's for you, when you lack integrity, the highest amount, and you want what is best for you, you know, say you wouldn't wear poopy now, you know, say you wouldn't want old broke, but you give old broke to people. That's the starting point. So when I heard this week that the bus rollout is only 60 buses is going to roll out, it meant that when September came, you could have just bought 60 brand new buses and take it slow. Yes? Just that it just goes. You take it in a process. But you say, because you always have to skim something off of the top. And many things, people forget say that them and they did sell lands in a Ochi, for cheap, and it just gone like I know nothing. Because when these things come up, they put things in the papers for distraction. And now here it is, we're going into an election, and you see today Damian Crawford came to Portland today, and we're walking up and down, and him really bring the energy and the education minister. And we go to the library, and when we go to the library, we realize say certain people don't know where the library there because reading going on around there. And I just laugh and I say the irony. But during that time we're walking around, and you just have some people who they feel very, 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 they know that they have lost. And the anger that they come with, because as I said, the formality is September 3rd. They spew, they know not what they do. But you can't make Duppy back draw you out. You can't. You have to understand that while you have everything to lose and they have nothing to lose, that is the crab in the barrel syndrome. So you can only reach out to people who have the potential to walk into their greatness, and know that as you touch the lives of those who can transform to the best versions of themselves, the more people transform to the best versions of themselves, it will cause those who are in the valley of the shadow of death to rise up. The shadow of death is people who are sleeping like zombies, who have no purpose on this earth but to be a distraction. And you want to be able to make people know that Jamaica is for them. So while we're here in Portland, people must get access to land. And while the UDC and while other agencies, parish council go around and they molest people who are trying to build a house and put a roof over their head on idle lands, those days are done. Because as soon as the People's National Party is in power, certainly by the stroke of my pen, persons have title to lands that they've been on, to lands that their family been on, and they'll see the power of a title. For instance, I'm going to tell them all the while, there's enough people cuss me when I just did there, and them have to take up them phone and say, then lock up my son, can you help me? Yesterday I having a conversation with a man, and the man say, oh, you know me, would have vote for you. You have to make a video, and an audio and drive around and make them know. Because Ibrahim Traore right now from Burkina Faso. You know them place there, Burkina Faso? I'm going to say, you mean Burkina Faso? I'm going to say, yeah, them place there, Ibrahim Trousers. I'm going to say, okay. Him say, yeah, him a my king. So if you all want me to vote for you, them man, they have to promote. Because Andrew no want him here. So the only way me to vote for you, because Ibrahim Traore is a great man. Him fight for the rights of him people. Him liberating people. So I look at him and I say, yeah, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a human rights attorney. I free people out of prison. I defend the little girl when Malahoo says she can't, we are take it to court because she can't come to school with dreadlocks. I fight for that. When them trim Nzinga and just instead of them lock up the police woman that was jealous of Nzinga, them just send her somewhere else. Wicked woman, that kind of stuff. And then people say, oh, she pull out her own hair and they enough little things. I defend. And constantly defending. When Jordan Ferran died, Christopher Tufton was behaving like there was no accountability, and he was angry that people were saying that there was some negligence from the hospital. And the people who don't care about the human reality. Here in Portland, 5 women died at Port Antonio, whether it be from fibroids, childbirth, all of that. And you don't see those things in the news, because certain in a politically hot climate, people don't want to see the deficiencies in spaces because their favorite people won't look good. So while they tear down some of us, they elevate those to make them look flawless. In spaces where, as a black man, it's a problem for people, for you to be educated, while at the same time you promote education. People respond that we no business about your education and beautiful speaking, because we get road, so go and go sit down. We no business if it's our MP smart or she don't. We no business with that. Move with your education, idiot. Trim you, dirty boy. Because education is a problem. But you best believe if I never had it, them would have said, dirty boy, you're not on education, where you go, we don't want to done trust a boy around here. Come out. But because you don't get the opportunity to say that, you have to find other ways to disparage, i.e., in this year, I'm very proud of it, through Stand Up Jamaica and partnership with even DCS and UIC, about 9 persons incarcerated in prison graduated with degrees. So have people in prison that's getting continuing education, tertiary education, is more equipped than people who are free, who don't want to go into universities. Yeah? The system is working, and rehabilitation is being touted by the government to say that there are bright people in prison. And in Jamaica, our country, we have persons getting degrees, and persons who should be rewarded when they get degrees, and non-violent offenders should be released, whether through parole, whether through legislation for sentence computation, because life is something given up to us without knowing we are to receive it and we are to taper it. So the process is to ensure that you become better. And in that rehabilitation and the achievement that the government feel that they finally got, to have some people graduating from tertiary institution, they said, this government is working for you and getting rehabilitation. And at the same time, old coot where we can't show them that they are no school or graduate from nowhere. I say is a disgrace to have an educated black man who has rehabilitated as a juvenile offender and a youth offender to now grace the halls of Gordon House, having graced the halls of the Privy Council, the highest court in the land, where the only way all a man like that can go there is after his conviction, whether it be for rape, murder, thieving, whatever, scamming, and you end up with an appeal because you have money. You go all the way to the Privy Council, and chances are your family will have to engage me to ensure that you don't spend what's left of your life as a thief in prison. As Damon says, because one by one, you'll be going to jail. One by one. Yeah, anyway. So that these are just the realities and the hypocrisies. So you have to look for it, because there are 2 Jamaicas. Yeah, and they're asking you to choose one of the 2 Jamaicans. So the Jamaica that includes the people who want better for themselves, a micro economy that is supposed to include the people that stay in the market, but instead you want to take away the market. The fishermen who bring their catch right up onto the beaches of Prospect, but no, you want to take Prospect for your friend them. You and your friend must build hotels on the hills of Boston and then say remove the people from Boston Beach so you can have your lift, so your hoteliers can come and have a private beach. And those who love and grow up on Winifred Beach are one election away from losing access to that. So we must not pretend that these things are reality, and we must not be hypocritical. And yes, I understand that there are leeches among us. There are people that depend on a political party to be in power in order to survive. And so when a man like me, who has no dependent on political nepotism, surfaces, it becomes a problem. Because when you walk with the highest form of integrity and you cannot be compromised, a man can take up your call and say, show the case. Here's some money. A man can take up your call and say, defend this man, and then get him bail so he can escape. And then nobody searches for the murderer. When you're not of that ilk, deficient in whatever way, or there's no judgment with your name on it that say you gave ineffective assistance of counsel and assisted somebody's child to be put in prison when they believed in you. When you don't have those stains to your name, it becomes a problem. And so it is the process that's people saying, trust the process. Because in the middle of your call at the election, in the middle of back to school, to play on the emotions of mothers and fathers who have not been connected to the economical gains of the macro economy, and is feeling hardship because they have to choose between, when you say choose Jamaica, choose between buying school shoes or food for the child for the year, or decide that you're going to play the hardest role and decide which one of your picking them are going to come out to something, because you can't take care of all of them when there are failures in government. These are the issues and the realities that we ask the dichotomy between formality and process. Because it is now you're telling people that you have to trust the process. And the process being, listen, you have me attached to the PNP to ensure that land is something you will get, to ensure that education for your future. So so academic advisors is not telling your daughter with 12 subjects and your son with 11 that they must not bother coming to medical school and mustn't bother going to the faculty of law because them not no money. Listen to me, man. Because they know that when your picnic come out and turn lawyer, if them picnic not come out to nothing, because remember, our thief met them there with them there. Yeah, so one of them said me did have taxi and now I'm a millionaire, and the next one me used to sell old car and now I'm a millionaire. Yeah? And that is something that you have to think about. Every transportation system, and I can tell you this, in their stories, they can't say like my grandfather. The reason why I put the bus engine in the back of my Benz is because the bus buy the Benz. They can't say that. Because they don't know what it is to work hard for your money. So you better treat me right, because I work hard for my money. So hard for my money. So you better treat me right. Yeah. Work hard. In fact, some of the time you put in the work and the pay where you get, then can't pay for the work where you do. But you just sit and you say you ship champagne and says, they will be back. So says the article. You leave it like that. Oh yeah, seat money, Mona 6622 sometimes, and true when nepotism a beat them don't want to let you know the institution them because them have some little E that are working there. I hear them, you're overqualified, so I need to step out of this one. You're overqualified, so what we're going to do is to because you're overqualified, we can't hire you. That kind of drama. And so these are just basic stuff that we sit and talk about. But I must tell you though, so let's talk about process and learning something, especially when you're new to something. You have to be a fast learner to keep up with the political climate. Right? Somebody asked me if I plan to give away everything free in Jamaica. Me, no, me who just running in Portland. Somebody say you plan to give away everything free in Portland. If the people at back road not giving up everything free, why would somebody ask me a question like that? Just tell me that. Somebody help me with that. Huh? Just tell me that. Imagine. Just look at the aptitude of the people that come on this platform sometime. No, I'm not going to ignore that one. Because they are the people who have the keyboards in their hand and they take up issues that they don't have no knowledge of. You are offended because I say there are families living on land and it's just because them not have either the money or the knowledge that they own the land. It is a formality. That's what this topic is about. A mere formality why they don't have title to the land. And I said the next PNP government is going to make sure that everybody that is supposed to have title will have it. And I said, because I have the legal acumen and competence to do so, I will complete that in no time. Somebody say you plan to give away everything free. It's not free. In fact, I will tell you this, I don't think nothing in life is for free. Because if you know what it is to beg to come on here for the last 10 months and I beg tablet. You think a free me get it for? You think to have somebody like me get up and tell people that they must participate? Eh? And that's a problem. Because some of them love freeness, only think it's freeness. So when Prime Minister look on you and say the bus them they will buy, we're not gonna get for ride on it for 2 months. Ride on it like a bicycle for 2 months, because when the 2 months done, who are gonna pay for it? But you take issue because somebody says a part of access to education is now embedded in access to transportation that will get you to ensure that you get the education. Imagine that. Help me with that. And people take issue with that. And all of a sudden, remember, the same government who said the taxi man them a rape off the picnic them, that's why them buy the school bus. Or the same Prime Minister said, I was a taxi man. I won two taxi. And out of the 2 taxi, has he accounted how many rapes took place in his taxis? And when he was a taxi man, how many rape since the same Jamaica Labour Party is saying, reject the PNP's thing to say you vet the people and you put them on a program and they have a clean police record and they participate. The same government that said them now release the sexual offences registry because them friend them dep on it. Yeah? The same people them where them in a house and man dead in a house and who in the house. And that case they gone in a file 13. Look pan the sexual offences registry. Open it up so we can see who in there. So all of the people them remember, so since me there on here, me say MP, me see it. Me see the MP I walk around and whether it be security or bodyguard, boy charge for rape and get off every time I call them an MP a friend. And have rape case right now in the middle of election and have access to the people them little girl picnic right here, so right now, and nobody says anything. But me just want to ask that. Because when it says that your richness is one to be questioned, you get up and say, I used to own 2 taxi and I never born with gold spoon in my mouth. So you get rich off of the backs of the women and children of this country, so the taxi-men that you hired, according to you and your party. So you know something we don't know. But anyway, I digress. The hypocrisy. And so you see, because context always matters, we put things in its proper context and in its proper space. We make sure somebody say you must read the context and please say grape, because I guess there's some algorithm. But this is context. It's an educational program. So you have to say it. You have to say the actual word. It's a context. Somebody said you grew up in a 1-bedroom and then it turned to, of course, because NHT that Michael Manley put in, your family benefit from. But then you get up and say, PNP no do nothing. The same student loan where you get for turn somebody in a life, you want to stop it. Your prayers answered, Junie. Junie says, I just pray ISAT you win Portland. That prayer is, and it's already written. I can tell you with certainty that we're just waiting on the days. In fact, today, tomorrow, every day, may pan the corner pop up. So come out pan the corner in a Portland Eastern. I live here, you know, I know helicopter bring me here. That are not from a well-off family. Who is not from a well-off family? And what will never happen? Yes. My heart is pure. Yeah. We kill them with kindness and love. So I might not have all your money because I never thief none. But I got something you don't. I got love. Yeah. I mean, that's a problem for people. Organic, genuine. I could say a lot, but it's not this. This is not the medium. No, they don't remember all the things that Mike and Manny do and PJ do and Portia, somebody they do. So them just a dead. You know, so you must behave on yourself. You must behave on yourself. Where is all right? We're literally at the top of the hour, and what I want to do is to going into that hour is to tell you the digital. It's really the digital economy educational program. When I said it, you know, when you're public speaking, you sometimes reverse stuff. Digital education economy program. Either way, it's too deep. When you're rolling in the deep, because that's what they do. They leave you up the creek without a paddle. They leave you without the equipment. You have to swim. Jamaicans always have to find them way because government failed them. The Jamaica Labour Party don't provide no assistance to the poor, and they take issue with it. They make it very difficult for you to get on PATH program. They make it difficult for you to get benefits. They discriminate against rehabilitation. They put things in place to ensure that incarceration is a reality. It's a systematic behavior, and it's not until it reaches your doorstep that you start to realize this year extrajudicial killings high. Many mothers have called me and said my son was not a criminal. Majority of Jamaica happy because they're fed up with crime, that as long as it's not them, they don't care who die. That is the lack of compassion and empathy that we have now. A total distrust of the justice system. Here in the Chief Justice says that a part of improving the court system is to recognize that a perfectly good case can go bad because of delays, because of technicalities, because of people's ability to respect formality, for people's ability to trust the process and not tamper with evidence. That's my response to that. And so what I won't do is to forever do a post-mortem on a case that I would have examined, and while other lawyers couldn't, certainly my team did, find out that no matter how you feel, especially in the local space, you must respect the Constitution. You must respect the fair trial right and understand that the Magna Carta, not you in your very short year and time in the judicial system, And I'm talking about black people. Magna Carta has been around. English law in itself is something that we inherited. And its advancement, for instance, Hernam and the Queen has since long been ruled out by Khan. And many other cases. So much that fruits of the poisonous tree is what should be governed, and why they don't like body cams in Jamaica, because too many times a perfectly good case, evidence is tampered with because somebody wants to ensure that they get a conviction, and so they don't do the right thing. Integrity is something that you must have even when nobody is watching, doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. A self-assessment and internal locus of control. But I digress. I am going to pick up at the end, at the top of the hour.
That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better, you live it your own way.
You will go deep. It is the digital education economy program. This program is for you if you are 18 to 58 years old. Believe me, the internet is a place that will ensure that you make money while you're sleeping. You just have to learn to do it. If you don't believe me, check it on Thursday, context matters, and make money doing what I'm doing right now. And your TikTok is on, and you monetize the TikTok. But I don't want you to be afraid of technology, which is why when I came before my concern, I started and completed 3,250 tasks. What? Deep. So what about deep now? All we need is 12 weeks of your time. What a teacher, what a change each other's life. You don't have to sit in 12 weeks. And in those 12 weeks, you will learn to use TikTok. You will learn to monetize YouTube. You will learn cryptocurrencies. You will learn how to make money on the internet. You can stay mansion, you can stay peer-reviewed, you can stay prospect, portfolio, fellowship. Right here, an interface with the entire world, from Dubai to London, Canada, to places where you make 2.2 of more. Yes? So, this program, at the end of it, when you learn to use the technology and learn the system, what you will be able to do is walk away with a grant. I know some people standing behind me. It only takes $10 million to start up for the person who completes, and from there, I promise you, your life will change. So I don't want nobody to feel like we don't have ideas. Because the ideas that we are bringing is going to change our lives and end poverty. We don't want to come into constituency office begging for supply and begging for food. We want you to be able to have financial independence and feel what
That's our first school. Isaac, this is the man. See the man here? No.
Woke up this morning and head to free school. The Maroons showed up and we were able to start the proceedings with the blowing of their bang.
God, I call upon you this moment, dear Jesus Christ, Almighty God. Cover us, dear God. Cover us, dear God.
Thereafter, the drums. The young people of Portland and their marching band was able to provide
the live music and instrumentation.
March, we are march, 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 we are march.
Portland hot. We are bringing the heat in East Portland.
He has brought a new energy, a new spirit, a new vision. It was a message sent to the laborites that time has come. One Isaac, straight.
Right now we are at a crescendo, ready to take Portland from the hands of these wicked and uncaring family. A family that just think about themselves and never think about the people of Portland.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. You have been duly nominated.
The heat turn up. We're hot and ready to take back East Portland.
Best way to make a statement is to put your ex beside the head.
Top of the hour. Yeah, you're tuning into Context Matters. If you're on Reggae Global Radio, welcome. And if you are on TikTok, tap up the screen, share the live. The hat looks good on me just because my forehead big. You know how it is. Yeah, I'm a king. And for those of you on YouTube, boy, the comment section it's festive, bad. So let me explain something to you. The psalm for the week, and it's coming from a funeral today, and Psalms 90 was just right there. Anyway, sometimes you must listen to the spiritual realm and understand that when God is doing the work, even whether it be when you're sleeping and whether you're not aware, just listen to the messages. So you know, on Sunday, having my conversation with my spiritual leader and advisor, and you know, we're in prayer, and it says the Maroons. And if anybody know what one agenda important to me is the Maroons. The Maroons, big up Chief Corey, big up Chief Sterling from Moortown, Chief Corey from a compound, a young man who loves his people, has completed a water project. When I tell you, if you know the millions of dollars that the chief would have ensured that his people get access to water while the rest of Jamaica suffer. A monumental chief is moving like Ibrahim Traore, and in his sovereign state of a compound, making the lives of Maroons superior, and with the unity with the Maroons, Flagstaff, Charlestown, Moortown, entering into a realm where that type of independence, everything from food security, you know, water security is becoming an issue. There are spaces where rich people living in spaces where they have to pay water bills of $120,000 a month to truck water just so that them can enjoy their properties. Failures of the government. So big up to Chief Corey, but Chief Corey leave all the way from a compound and show up on time. You got to free school before the people of Mansion Hill could come down. That just give you an example of the type of support and assistance, and when mobilization and may I tell you, Mansion Hill mobilize and come down, the Valley mobilize, Fellowship and the boy PNP come down and support, paint the town orange. And no, we never have a busing outsiders and all of those things or whatever. And no, they weren't from the West, because when I see my sister Doreen, when I see our people them out in numbers, and I hear them say, oh, the people from East Portland go support her. But we both were nominated officially at the same time, our slots being 12 o'clock at the same time, East and West at the same time. So officially my sister is doing great work in the West, I'm doing it in the East. But the Maroons, if you know about Maroons and you know about the power and embracing my blackness and proud to be a Maroon, you would understand how important it was for me to start off anything that I'm doing and the sounding of their bang and then even the horn, the cow horn. And to the chief musicians, a psalm of David, I want people to appreciate that when after the sounding of their bang and ancestral spirits. If you're spiritual, you will know the feeling. And then the sounding of the cow horn, two different octaves, two different voices, two different spiritual awakening. And the flag lady, she gave homage to the church, live and well, Jesus Christ. Just understand. And we made that walk. And every single thing that happened, the video is just a screenshot of all of the forces that came and all the clogs and fetters that were in your way, but you walk right around it. And we get right to the place, and we duly nominated, and the support overwhelming, the councillors and the councillor candidates, the supporters. And they, somebody said my son was born the same year as ISAT, 1978. Just well, my gray hairs out, so you can call up my age. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, and to feel that spirituality and to know that when you're walking in the footsteps and God is guiding you, you look on the floor and you see the footprints in the sand, and you're not seeing yours, is because you know that God is carrying you. When persons who felt like they were victimized, because I saw Vivian, she hurt really bad that Dr. Bloomfield was murdered as a part of the political process for while we are here right now. And she walked with his plaque, and she was allowed to express herself and mourn, and many people remembered the significance of that. And we spoke about it. And the process in and of itself, and realizing that as the candidate, it is the people who is responsible for you, and how humble it is that you have to trust the people. You have to trust the process. And it's not a I, it's a we. So although my name is ISAT, I guess I wonder if a we sat me should have name, because this time around, this election is for the people. It's by the people, it's for the people. And so while it's by the people should not be bought. And so a whole lot of buying going on. And my response to that, and I can say it here, proper legal advice. The ROPA, Representation of People's Act, says that you can't buy vote. And in any event, them can't buy your votes. So the irony is, when them going around trying to buy PNP vote, the labor rights say you have to buy we vote too. So when you're rich, you can't find them money there. And enough people who would have helped them, I hear, say them dead now. So them having a serious financial crisis, notwithstanding selling buses and taking off a little thing for themselves, if allegedly. But anyway, what I will say is we are at an impasse, and we are ready to make a change and create history. I note the fact that the same government is saying that Isaac should be rejected because he experienced prison. So did Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. Paul Bogle was convicted. George William Gordon was convicted. Why I raised those things? Donald Trump convicted, must 32 convictions. And while it is that they can go and sit at the doors of the White House and beg him as their Lord and Savior, and make no mention of his convictions, they dare not offend him. The historical nature is that it's not about saying rejecting ISAT, it's recognizing that there are mothers and fathers and grandparents and brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, family members who would have gone through the legal process, that have bankrupt families to fight for their freedom and innocence of a loved one, and are in the process and have dealt with the stigma. And the very government is asking, Buster also went to prison, BRED. Yeah. Somebody said 34 ISAT, not 32. I wasn't following that conversation, but hopefully you'll give me clarity on that. To go to that level or have that conversation is to say that you never know who you're offending when you launch an attack on people, especially an attack that is not trying to make somebody better, that is not trying to influence people to do better. You know, I'm just raising this as a point. I'm raising this as a point to say, what is it that you want? What is it that you're asking our judicial system to do, especially when you're fighting crime? Is the answer to fighting crime to just kill everybody that you think committed a crime or is a criminal? So, 34 felony charge for Donald Trump. So it's 34, not 32. Okay. See? So one wonders, and yeah, I know. I mean, I think the youth arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, one of them is convicted, and they don't have a problem with that. And there are councillors and there are persons who were able to do that. And I don't think that to have somebody in perpetuity, especially when they've made strides, for persons to be constantly speaking on that. And if that is not enough, just personal attacks. And I wonder sometimes, because what I learned from all of this is that, you know, one of the reasons why I became an attorney is that it's well understood that good character is of no. Dalrymple don't count. She's not a black woman. So they're not going to speak of Dalrymple's convictions and Dalrymple's indiscretions as something to hold against her because she's from the elite and she's friends. If you treat her a certain way, then they will be subjected to the same type of treatment. So it's just a recognition that I am you. It's just a recognition that I'm normal. I'm okay with that. It's a recognition that nepotism is not a part of my existence. It's a reality that they see them as them and me as us, me and Uno as us. And they say, vote for us, but you can't be a part, you can't sit at the table. Notwithstanding that, even if you're a great lawyer, you shouldn't even be called a lawyer. You should just be a boy that go to school and have a law degree and have a practicing certificate. How dare you be cloaked in the noble professions? That is the conversation. And it's coming from people who couldn't. Like, I can tell you, my opponents, not in this life, could ever be an attorney. Even with the resources, they can't buy that degree. And they would literally have to do like the Prime Minister, who wanted to get a doctorate from the University of West Indies. And they said, no, we don't water down our thing to be uicated. There's no amount of nepotism that can cause it to be uicated. You actually have to read for your degree at the University of the West Indies. Yeah. No, and that's the truth. You'll see that sometime in media too. So they're very irritated with it, and so they don't want to say they say criminal. They don't say criminal lawyer. And if they have to say lawyer, they said twice convicted drug dealing man who is now an attorney. Like, that's just a thing, by the way. But it is about recreation, it's about reinvention, it's about rehabilitation, it's about reintegration. It's really about, but and that's the thing, because when the time comes and they find themselves in one of those situations where they find themselves in a situation where they are now in the same. Hold up. I need to find this. And so yeah. Hold on, I create your judgment. All right, sing it now. All right, yeah. Sorry about that. I was trying to say that when one looks at the reality, it's not everybody can just get up and feel the realities of Jamaica being a great nation. Or it's one of the countries where you can be from nothing to something, which is why, although it is that they're telling us to find our way to foreign and go to America and all of these things, that they come here. In the Indians, the Chinese, the Asians, they come to Jamaica and they make life, and they just immediately become the upper class in the society, right? And that's it. But this idea of political profiles, we appreciate it for what it is, and we are not deterred, or we don't feel we don't feel at all as if it makes us any less when people do ad hominem attacks. And I don't have to publish a letter to say that there are persons in the social media space from all ilks of society, and I don't have to name anybody to give them credence, because I think if you put out a letter and you start to name bloggers, you're making the bloggers famous. To me, from my experience, there was a blogger that did have a little buzz one time, a real idiot, but that didn't turn out well for them, because they had a lot of conspiracy theories that was just complete nonsense, and that happens in the space. But it may affect some people. But one of the things is, if you are PR and somebody counter you with PR, you're gonna be mad. If you put in the work, it doesn't matter what people are saying. So I don't have to stand up and take a picture and sit over there. So you must be able to show the entire space, and the space must be consistent. And when that happens, it puts you in a position to know that you're real. It's a real phenomenon, right? So you once you do that, you come to realize that you can't be victim to misinformation, and you can't even be influenced by nonsense. Because at the end of the day, the political process is about whether your community is better, whether your life is better. The reality of it is this: if you're disabled and you're in a wheelchair, because this is the analogy, what the government has done to the people of Jamaica is to say that Jamaica is better. And the Jamaicans are all in wheelchairs, and what they do is build a massive flight of steps, 72 flights of stairs, and say Jamaica is better. What we want to do after 10 years is now build wheelchair access so only can come up to the top of the step. When you ready? Choose Jamaica. Choose Jamaica. When you ready? Because everybody in wheelchairs, we're now going to put the ramps so only can come up to the step. Don't worry who's going to push you up there. It's not elevator. We're going to build a ramp. And it's going to go around so. Yeah? And we're going to dance on it. And say ramp after ramp after ramp after ramp. Because it's a ramping shop. Coming up a ramping shop. That's what they want. And the people say, yeah, man, I care. From my band, my mother lives there, so. From my mother spell bread, B-R-E-D, so. My mother and my granny and some me and that. Shower till me dead. Or whatever. And you have to stop and think and say, but hold on. For the last 10 years, I've been rolling and me and my family struggling to get access to basic amenities, to be included in society, to go to supermarkets where there's wheelchair access and ramps, all of these things. And I know when they're making the promises. And in the process, it's a blueprint to continue to enrich themselves, and people say, as long as my party rich, me feel good because I'm associated with rich people. Well, I can tell you this, a king can't be king without a kingdom. And if the least among us is suffering, we have not gone anywhere. And the stories, you can check it. When I become an attorney, they said I defy the odds, as if it was something to celebrate. That a young man went incarcerated and yeah, he defied the odds. But what about the young people who never had to go through that? What's the story for the people who are doing what they're supposed to be doing and wasn't derailed by life? What is to celebrate that you were born in a one-room house and then you change the story because Michael Manley make sure your mother did get a 2-bedroom and your life was improved. So you know what it is for the urgency for improving your lives and asking people to wait. Yeah? And your bad management, the embarrassment to know that there's a political rally and you couldn't even make your finance minister speak at the rally and she holds the most important portfolio. And when it's time to debate, because she cannot debate Julian Robinson and have to turn it into a group debate because of the incestuous nature and culture of your party. It has to be a threesome or it can't happen. But it's just life. And so we have to think about that. And you can't selectively say it's a problem. You don't want people to be bright. But then when we go on the world stage, we're upset that Burkina Faso is run by Ibrahim Traoré, a superior man than the individual that we have run in Jamaica. That Barbados has a superior woman than the individual. That St. Vincent has the superior. You know, one of the things most of the Caribbean countries have in common is that they're run by trained attorneys. When people are not versed in legislation, they must have advisors that have sense. Andrew, because he's not a lawyer, have a lot of lawyers who don't have sense advising him. Or they are lawyers who have sense, but they are compromised. They give the advice, and having give the advice, you just don't take it. But I digress. We have to think about what it is. Yeah. See people saying Juliet see my work on the top of my mouth. So 1 minute him a taxi man, next minute him a construction worker. Now him a the demolition man and now him a the builder. The most important thing is where you get the money. And if he was a youth from Montego Bay or a youth, what them style as a scammer, them would have just take all of the money and thing and just send you in a jail and then FID come wrap up. And don't even care if your mother and father have nothing to eat. And if your baby mother still a CR period if she need to buy sanitary napkins. And so the treatment that comes is something that we think of. But some people are all right living vicariously through people. So when I look at the polls and realize, say, it says that the majority of women prefer the Jamaica Labour Party, and it is about who have access to the bank. So breadwinners know what it is to work, know what it is to have money, know what it is. And then also people want different things. People want different things. And that's quite all right. The beauty of it is there is a reality that the political process is that people must have the freedom to choose. And nobody has to feel anyway. So this is just my conversation going into 12 days left to an election. And here's the reality. Why is Tufton not debating Dawes? Dawes is a doctor and Tufton is a doctor. Dawes is actually has medical competence and Tufton has PR. It's two different things. They don't size up. That's like somebody coming in here asking why my opponent don't debate me. The answer to that is that she can't. And I think that even if she wanted to, her handlers wouldn't allow it. But let us not focus on that. Let us look at it. This is fake poll, PNP all the way. No, we don't say the polls are fake, because what I'm trying to say is a part of the political process is the freedom to choose who you want. And the thing about it is, just like Digital Rising Stars and American Idol, it is who come out and vote when the lines are open for people to vote. When the vote buying is done and the ballot box stuffing is done and all the mechanisms, fake IDs and all of that, and you bring in the bad man them for voter suppression and people afraid of man pan bike and all of the foolishness that happens to influence and distract from the true political process. When it all said and done, is to not take any chance and make sure that you vote, especially if you have an interest in the future of your country. Especially if you have difficulty because of where your lot is in life, to walk up to an embassy and said, put the visa in my book so that I can go and take a trip. Because you simply qualify or you don't. Yeah? And for those people who are influenced by a little Hennessy and a little rum and boom and all of those things, when your rum and your money done, you go back to begging. And if your ambition in life is to hang out at a constituency office and call some politician who sometimes can barely construct a sentence, call them father, like what the one in Westmoreland can barely read and write, and all him know for do a beat him woman with a chair when she call him dunce. So lawyers who do not know the law or is compromised. That's what I'm saying. One of the things is that integrity is not for sale, because those who sell their votes have no integrity, but those who buy votes don't have integrity. And it's also breaking the law. And so that's something that people must always think of. And so once you understand that, you get a true reflection of what is going on. So in any event, see, somebody said, we hear that the Jamaica Labour Party is buying 12 seats to put with the 23 they will win. So you need to hawk eye don't take it lightly. Whatever the situation is, though, is one has to say, no matter what the political process is, you don't complain at the end of it why your life is hard if you let people trick you to continue a life of suffrage. Because it is the reality, you know. The people take your land, the people is trying to, sometimes the people abuse you. In Manchiniel, they're beating up people. They report it, and court cases will come later down in the line. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, and when the dust settles, what you're voting for is for the future of your country. Some of those people who are, you see them fighting for power, like the people I'm running against, they're at the end of their life, you know. Old people. Old people. If you put it into context, like, no disrespect to Babsy, but she's still on a ticket. She's old. The future of this country is the dynamics of it is unbelievable. And it's not discriminating. This is not a first world country like America that can afford to have a senator who is 101 and sucking an oxygen tank for the purpose of voting. It's not a country that have millions of dollars that can be written off by wastage. Everything that happens must come with competence, and legal competence at that. So much so that one of the reasons why they're crying about social media right now is that some of them they have to pay people to post for them. Some of them right now they couldn't even start StreamYard to run a YouTube show, let alone know where the camera is on the phone. But they want to write policies, which is why when you see PNP roll out and say $1 billion to the creative industries, they don't create nothing, so them don't know what it means. All them know for do a right check and say this was good, and repeat the same process. No, not an invention born in them body. Not even an iota of creation is in their body. Just exploitation and destruction is the order of the day for them. Yeah. And I mean, look at it. Nobody said anything, you know. Miss Ambassador come from foreign and she come down and she put shirt on her dog, and she's all that is great. Mecca me did ever have a eat out at my constituency office. Why for the eat out? A drink up, a festivities at my office, and them kill a Rasta man per my watch. Yeah, we wouldn't hear the end of it. But again, because Jamaica is what it is, you can be a politician and man dead in your car and dead in your house and nobody not say nothing. But make her somebody else, because this lady come and she's the candidate running. What's it? Audrey Marks, on your marks, and people dead our constituency office, and then them just put it in the media like it's nothing. But again, for the only God can say how a Rasta man find him way in the midst of Jamaica Labour Party and wonder how him end up dead. So from Coral Gardens to this year, Rasta man find themselves dead. You must think about that, and that is the truth. People can feel however they want to, but defend it. Say what it is. But if you're not caring for the people and you're not ensuring the safety and protection of the people, then all of this come to naught. You know, one of the things all the time is a lot of things you would want to do. Fancy nomination day come, you want to get the helicopter, you want to dip on the ladder. Boy, you say next thing you dip on the ladder, you have your phone in your hand and the phone drop and it lick somebody in the head and them dead. You want up on the bike and tree bike, and you 1 foot up on one side, you're doing all of this, and then tumble down, something happen and somebody end up dead. So you always have to think about the safety of people. Even to see citizens, it doesn't even matter which side, hanging off a truck back and out a window and thing like that. And I'm like, is this heights of madness that can get people hurt? And I think all the time, so I apologize for this, but I always think like a lawyer. And I say, but look at this personal injury matter going on right now. And you can't even concentrate enough. So when you think, when you planning and you include the people, it includes the safety of the people and improving. You don't want to hurt nobody. It's always a sad thing when if it's even a motorcade and you hear that a car crash or a bike crash and somebody's injured. And people chalk it up to just the festivities. But if you care about people, there's a little bit more planning and execution that would ensure that people are okay. And when you're planning and execution also means that if you know and respect what child labor is and procreation, just go and take up yourself and buy some old bus and say, we work out the kinks as they go. Because all you're going to get, in the middle of all of this, if one of these buses malfunction and things, not saying that transport accidents do happen, but prevention is always better than cure. Because if your child is in a vehicle owned by government that is a contraption and things go bad, all that happens, like in America, that no matter what, no matter how many mass shootings happen because of gun control laws and the powers that be, all that a president can do is come up and say, today is a sad day in America. And we must find out what would have taken place when a son of America would have opened fire on his brothers and sisters. Them not outrule God. Like in the same breath, Jamaica don't want to get to the right to bear arms because they deny ordinary citizens who have to defend themselves and property in the name of nepotism and say that you're not a fit and proper without due process. And then we just never get there. But the more things changes, the more it remains the same. And I'm just putting that out there because the conversation that I'm having is inviting people to put things in its proper context and recognize that the political landscape is 63 candidates on one side, 63 on the other, 47 on the new party. I think it's JPP, some on the UIC, and none from the Marcus Garvey because they never recognize it as a party. But all of these 189 candidates vying for the political process is saying, me and beg your work for be your helpers and your gardeners and your garbage men. And then don't have the humility to come behind it, because some people is of the view that when you become a politician, it is a superior work, but it's helper work. And some of them lack the ability to be a servant. And they lack the ability to be a servant because they're power hungry. They don't have the facilities and the experience to know how to wield power. Some of them don't come with top lawyer experience. Marky G is a top law firm and opening investment companies wielding power. So they know what it is to own a business and have workers and have people who you have the ability to exploit, but don't because you're not power hungry. And they don't know what it is to be responsible for people even when government is failing, when an economy is bad. They never experience when there's a recession that you have a employment list of 10 people at a minimum and you have to find them salary every single month. So when government is there and them fluxy bad green mango, and people not stone green mango. For those who love the green, there are no people not stone green mango. So they don't know. And so because they don't know, they abuse the system and they have no respect for the Constitution. So I'm just taking this opportunity, and I think it's one more show. So next week, you hear from me again, and then the week after that, you hear from me, and I'm going to say, see, guys, I told you so. I am the MP. And I'll just play this back and say, see, guys, I told you so. Now I'm the MP. So next week is the other show. Then the show after that, the Thursday morning, I'm going to say, hey, guys, I'm the MP. Just like that. Yeah? And so that I'm just putting it out, right? And letting people understand. So we're vying for the servant work. And when they say, yeah, but I said, you're laid back. Why is you so humble? You think of the law this, you think of the court this. Because they can't bad me up in a court. So when you know the law, you just go in a court and say, do what you have to do because you know where you're heading. Straight to the Privy Council. And what I'm saying to you is when you wield power, the heavy is the head that wears the crown. The last time I said that, them look on them one another and say, well, I got cut down that nigga here. Never forget it. And then we just go to the real white people and say some fake white people who aren't black think them white. Animal Farm, the mulattoes thought they had it. But anyway, let me just leave that alone. But to say, the political process is wanting better for yourself and your future and of your kids. To the 6 students who plan to go to the Faculty of Law from Portland, go. Let no academic advisor tell you to defer. What God have planned for your life, you will end up like Alessandra Labiche at the Privy Council when them used to say you know no money and you can't do law. God did that. God on time. That's what I'm promoting. Those who are criticizing, embracing spiritual richness by including the Maroons in my nomination day, take several seats. You can laugh up and down with the on the internet without having a knowledge and experience of God revealing himself in your life. So just like if you read the Bible and you take up the Bible and you see the story of David and the characters in the Bible, I'm a character like that because God has navigated my life. God is my Google and my GPS. And has never failed me, and I do everything in God on time. So those people who were writing press releases and making videos and use everything in the book, you can't say me don't, so you say me chichi and me gay and me this and fish and all of that. You can't say me an idiot, so you have to say me you have to criminalize and you have to put out information that's not so. And for every person that spoke about my conviction, you're all criminals. You have broken the law. And it's out of pure compassion why I have not hunt you down and find you and made reports and have you go to prison. But I see you take your cues and lead by example, because when you see the politicians in their stupidity and dunceness follow and break the law, you think you can break it too. So because I'm not in the business of turning ordinary citizens into criminals, and I don't want you to experience the discrimination that I have experienced, even when I've overcome that. Speaking about convictions that are 30 years old, speaking about convictions that are 26, 27 years old is an amazing feat. To hold me to conduct, yeah, a minimum 30 years and 27 years ago, a 47-year-old man. I'm in awe, shock and awe. No respect for time, which is why I'm saying God on time. But as we move along, I want people to focus on those children who will become lawyers. And the mother that I met today who said my daughter has to defer from medical school. No say so, man, because when September 4th come, school just a bubble. By exam time come, school fee have to pay because bright picnic must get assistance. You defer a young lady right now and she may be the 12th subject, she may be the one with the cure for cancer. And some of them, you want to see them look like them prostate and the amount them just to try win the election so they can. Anyway, I thought choose better language. Let me just say this now. I've said a lot, and I'll say some more next week. I want to share with you. Look, people are dead with love, but I'm just talking. This is what I do every day, and I met a family. I like I said, I went to a funeral today. I saw the Psalms 19 there. I went to the 9 night last night, met some people. Shout out again to Damien Crawford. The people of Portland love Damien. Portland was robbed of a great leader. But they say one spitting, twice shy. So trick me once, shame on you. Get tricked twice. All right, that's how it go. Psalms 90. Psalms 90. But Psalms 48. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. Mount of his holiness. That's a beautiful for a situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. But anyway, I just said that a while ago because that is the God and time that I know. And while Psalms 121 is my favorite, to see that I've been sent to another, I'm at an impasse where sharing this to say, when you're just yourself, I wake up like this every day. And I met the lady. She's an environmentalist. She actually went to Europe to study like this, and they tell her every day she's overqualified. And she said, when I saw you on TV, I thought that you were arrogant. But having a conversation with you changes my mind. I'm inviting persons to have conversations with me before you judge me, before you go down into the rabbit hole of ad hominem attacks, smoke screens, red herring, and all the fallacies that come with social media to paint pictures of people that they know nothing of. If nothing else, just know that God navigates my life, and be careful because the God I serve, will do to you like he did to Pharaoh, and harden your heart and put you before podiums to sound dunce and stupid and make mistake. No, nothing bothers me, and that is just what I'm saying to you, that going into an election, the only thing you can do is kill them with love. Blood and fire love as I march to victory. And so trust me, love. I just love me, girl. I just love giving. So yeah, no man said it wasn't me. Me no box, me no thump, me no fight, me no do nothing. All me do is win, no matter what. Yeah, and we will see. But remember, just cut this part of it when I said next week is the next show, and the week after that, I'm going to introduce you to the MP, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern. All right. So sharing with you because it's the same thing, and people always say I'm a prophet, but I was coming and you can check context matters. I kept telling you all, they're so predictable that they had to call it on the 3rd because I think third term, September 3 is going to bring that. But 3 in a cash pot actually mean dead. So on a dead in the show. Yeah. Just thought I'd share that. Here it is that we're coming to the end of the show. The show did nice, bad. What could have caused that now? So yeah, like I said, I when I talk to the people, I always tell them, but I do it subtle. When our Gen Sec talk, Gen Sec make a boy know, say, oh, call it or the Constitution, I go call it for you. And when you run out of days, it's easy to predict. But I've been saying it months, and here's us. Here's what I want to show you.
Nomination day will be Monday, August 18th.
And election day, September 3.
Nomination day will be Monday, August 18th.
And election day, September 3. Honor Dr. Linville Bloomfield and return this seat to the People's National Party on the candidacy of Comrade Isaac Buchanan.
This election in Portland is not go like no other election before.
We are going to work to make our lives better.
People must suffer Portland, man. The people must suffer.
Them take away Blue Lagoon from the men who used to make a living there.
I know what people rent me off your eye.
I never voted for PNP yet. I know when they give me the reason for vote for PNP.
Vibes and the woman have to leave Portland.
They got to go, they got to go.
I forget out Vibes out of Portland.
They got to go, they got to go.
If them people ever give back Labour one more chance in here, me I left Portland and now come back. I mean I have to come back here, so.
They all got to go.
I don't have to stress it except to say to you that on the election day, you do what you have to do, I will do the rest.
Isaac Street, Carlos.
Portland Street right now belongs to PNP, so we don't talk.
That the comet is coming.
It took some time to understand, yeah, just what it takes to be a man. Now it seems each day you learn something to make a better way. And growing up ain't just a phase, it's reality. And sometimes it's hard to face the world with your head screwed on. But in time you will see, it comes naturally, like the hurt and the pain. It's a part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You know I heard them say, life much better you live it your own way. But if you need a helping hand, just call on me, I will be your friend. And when it gets hard to face the world with your head screwed on, just tell yourself you can. And that's when you'll understand that the hurt and the pain, it's a part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You gotta keep on moving on. Don't let no one stand in your way. Gotta keep on pressing on. As we pray for better days, keep it moving. Moving to the next. When they try to bring you down, we gotta take it to the next level when they come around. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. Just keep your head up, yeah. Just keep your head up, yeah. Gotta keep your head up, yeah. 'Cause everything 'cause everything's gonna be alright.
Cause everything's gonna be alright.
Mm-hmm.